Welcome, David Lutes.
Thank you very much.
How dear heart, sweet Lucille, the riverbed tawny from rain, an afternoon already gray, that evening gray. So left the moon, sweet Lucille, devil light show across the moor, find you in soft bed of green, that fragrant green. So left the moon, sweet Lucille, left the moon, sweet Lucille. Dear heart, sweet Lucille, your father is ruddy with rage, curtain of night, twilight blue, the deepest blue. So left the sun, sweet Lucille, Eastern light will show you home, you again under ebony hills. So left the sun, sweet Lucille, left the sun, sweet Lucille. Dear heart, sweet Lucille, the sheep up in Dartmoor so white, and white is the dress that you wear, white on white. Heart, dear heart, sweet Lucille, heart, dear heart, sweet Lucille. And oh, life is but a song, steps down the house stairs. I watch you run into the night. Will you remember me? Will you remember me, Jenny on Apple lady, girl of Maine, wild child in Barbara Lane. Heaven help the boys who cry. Remember me. Remember me, Jenny on fire. Jenny on fire. Don't tell me that everything I feel's a lie. Remember December, everything is white. I'll make you mine. Life's too short for this orchard man to only see you every now and again. Can my harvest be your hand? Will you remember me? Will you remember me? Will you take care of me? Will you stay near to me, Jenny on fire? Jenny on fire. Jenny on
That's James Smith there on the mandolin. Was it too early in the evening for me to get all mushy? Just the right time for mushiness. No, it's we're just reading each other's minds tonight. I was just sitting back during Dennis's set. Let's hear it one more time for Dennis Welch, by the way. And not only was I just appreciating this space and connecting with Dennis's songs like I've just never connected with probably before. But I was also just thinking, I saw James standing over here, and here's my family sitting over here, and Randy, and one of those kind of out-of-body experiences where you're thinking, how did we all get here? How did this happen? Because I know Randy because of Ken Gaines, and I know Ken Gaines because of the Texas Music Awards, and I know James because he happened to be put onto a bill the last minute in a show I did in Brighton, which was the last show of a tour I did 4 years ago over there. Didn't know him before that. We just hit it off, and then pretty soon we're collaborating across the ocean, and here we are, and we're in the music room, and we're having a great time. And so I just love to have these moments of perspective where you all of a sudden you just see the twists and turns in the road, and you're really glad to be where you are. Thank you guys so much for coming and being a part of this night. Thanks to Randy and to Helen and to Harold and to Reno for making something like this possible, because this is... let's get a round of applause for them. Because this doesn't happen by accident. They didn't just happen to have a studio on the back of their house that wasn't getting used. Places like this just don't exist. They've created something out of thin air. At least it feels that way. Combining so many of the best things about other venues, and then with a warmth and a hospitality that you can't find anywhere else. So I encourage you, and I'll probably encourage you again later on in the evening to support what they're doing too, because Randy's all about the artists, and so somebody needs to be all about Randy and all about them. So do that too, because if Randy can't do this, then I can't do this, and then I'll be really mad at you. So it's all about me. It's just a circular kind of logic. We're getting to know each other tonight, aren't we? So here's a song I wrote about myself. I'm so vain. Yeah, that song actually was about me. Funny enough. I knew it was all along, and finally I found out it was. This is a new song. I wrote this, I haven't recorded it on an album yet. Every time Dennis says something about getting up like in the middle of the night and writing a song and just feeling like you gotta, and the fact that Susie is now aiding and abetting that, which is great, because Carolyn, my wife, is in the same boat. Just David gets out of bed and he's going to write something, or he's going to the bathroom, one of the two, or maybe both. So unfortunately I didn't have Carolyn to hand me a pen. I was on tour, just had done a show in Columbia, South Carolina the night before, and woke up in the hotel room the next morning, and the song just was ready. It was ready to be written, so I sat on the bed and wrote this song out. I'll do a song later tonight that's about the wonder of finding love and new love, and feeling like you've been searching, and then all of a sudden you find it and you don't understand it. And this song is actually a more perspective of 10 years down the road, when not only you found love, but love is still there. And despite all the skeletons, or most of the skeletons being out of the closet, lack of personal hygiene, and things like that, that you don't realize when you're about to get married, that maybe you need to talk about. They don't deal with personal hygiene in premarital counseling for some reason. I think they should. At Highland Park, you were just waiting for your moment. I rue the day I ever told you that I went to Highland Park. It takes away all my street cred. It's just gone. But anyway, this is the tagline of this chorus is, I found you and you're sticking around, which is, after 10 years, that's kind of a big deal. And that starts to be a bigger deal than the found you. It's the fact that you're still here. And we all need those daily measures of grace and mercy, and that's what the song's about. And it's about kind of being dumb and needing to be reminded of that. So it's called Sticking Around.
I left town about an hour ago, a bad mix of whiskey and a one-man show and this dog and pony rodeo. And I feel like a jerk for all I said. I got the word of God booming in my head, and so I pull off the road ahead to get it right before I get to bed. So I thank you for sticking around here, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace towards paradise I found. 'Cause I found that you're sticking around. Oh, oh, oh. You make me think about the folks who really lost their way. They're dying and lonely, they got debts to pay, or oil in the red to fade. I can be a selfish boy. I've been into the apple, ate it down to the core, and I deserve to be shown the door. But Jesus loves me, and so you're hoping for more. I thank you for sticking around here, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace towards paradise I found. 'Cause I found you, you're sticking around, yeah. Like Peter, Paul, and Ruth, you know, gave this child some truth, that on this day of days he might rise above this drunken haze. I got back home about an hour ago. Our baby's in the crib, and there's some food on the stove, and you're asleep on the sofa in your beat-up old robe. But it's angels' wings as far as I know. So I thank you for sticking around, yeah, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace towards paradise I found. 'Cause I found you and you're sticking around. I thank you for sticking around, yeah, sticking next to me when I'm stuck and I'm down the road of peace towards paradise I found. 'Cause I found you and you're sticking around. 'Cause I found you and you're sticking around. Oh, 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 oh.
Thank you. Well, you never really know when those conversations are going to happen that lead to creative inspiration. But I was kind of having one of the potentially least likely conversations with a friend of mine. I happened to be on my cell phone, and I was going about 70 miles an hour down I-20 through Jackson, Mississippi. I was on my way to Birmingham, Alabama to play a show that night. And so I knew he was from Jackson. I thought, well, I'm kind of bored. I've been on the road a long time, and I know a little bit about Jackson, but maybe I should just call a native and ask him. And so I called him and I asked him, what's the one paragraph blurb about Jackson as I'm flying through at 70 miles an hour? He asked me where I was on the interstate. And I said, well, I'm at exit such and such. And he said, well, I think right around there there's a hilltop. There's probably I think there's a store up on top of there now. It was like a Piggly Wiggly or something quintessentially Southern. He said, well, before that was a Piggly Wiggly, and that was a parking lot. That's actually the spot where U.S. Grant, the Union General, came and stood and perched because it was a great vantage point to see the sort of the city of Jackson down below. And that's where he stood before he sort of ordered the, I guess you could call it the destruction, I don't know, at least the sort of rough handling of Jackson. And now you go to the Piggly Wiggly and you wouldn't know the difference. You would just think, I'm at the Piggly Wiggly, and I need some butter. So it got me to thinking, even U.S. history, which there's so much that's just been paved over, and I can't even imagine. I mean, over in England, just thousands of years of being paved over, and we lose so much so quickly. So it led to two different songs about the South. The first one that I wrote was this one, and it's just it's a song about the Underground Railroad, and I've been playing it for several years. It's about a father and a son, just a simple story about a father's hope that his son can escape on the Underground Railroad, and ultimately his hope that they'll see each other, may not see each other again on the earth, but they'll see each other again on the other side. And so that's that little conversation turned into Rise Up Elijah.
Gospel and memory is all that I own. They've taken the rest of me through my hand to work their soil. But you've been the hope for me. Freedom's your birthright, and I have this hope for you through the Mississippi night. Rise up, Elijah, my only son. Think of your mother, my true one gone. Look to heaven with your final prayer, and I'll find you there. As I walk you through the meadow, darkness takes you from my view, And with the gospel and the memory, you take the best of you. Over across the river, the waters move aside, and over across the desert, the promised land abide, abide. Rise up, Elijah, my only son. Think of your mother, my true word, and look to heaven with your final prayer, and I'll find you there. I'll find you
We're trying to set a record for how softly the mandolin can be played while still being audible. James David Smith, all the way from Brighton, England, ladies and gentlemen.
Rule Britannia, Britannia rule the waves. England never, never, never shall be slaves.
Got another Brit back there.
Yes, we do.
And did those feet in ancient times.
They don't know Jerusalem. Okay. Hebrew folk songs. Now this is an English. It's an English like apocryphal legend that Christ appeared in England after, you know.
We had everything.
You had everything. We'll do a couple more songs and we'll take a break and we'll. So I'm gonna do a love song. Dennis and I and James and then a wonderful singer-songwriter named Tess Wiley, who is American, lives in Germany, did a house concert in Austin last night. It's really fun. We do this song swap. So we just all sit in a line and everybody just takes a turn and you go around and you start to develop over the course of the evening, you develop this kind of symbiotic relationship between songwriters because you start depending on what the other person played to sort of decide what you're going to play. So nobody has a set list. You're just kind of bouncing around and they're inspiring you to play a song that you hadn't played in 2 years. And so Dennis got to talking last night about he and I both write about a lot of the same stuff, but we're both still trying to get at love. And I think that's why it's been inspiring people for thousands of years. We're all still just trying to get at it, and we're taking different angles and coming up underneath and coming, and so this is one of those songs, and you keep trying to figure it out. This is just about appreciating the simple things. It's called I Love the Way You Move, and by that it's just not only move, but like move through life, move through conversation, move through decisions, just everything that you start to appreciate about someone over the years.
Here's a song for a day, and I'm 1,000,000 miles away. I love the way you move, through the street or on a phone, when we're all alone. I love the way you move. I played it cool as a lost and lonely fool, tripping on my own. But you walked in and found me trying to catch the wind, and gently you led me home. Well, through the yard or on a train, when you took my name, I love the way you move. Played it cool as a lost and lonely fool, just tripping on my own. You walked in and found me twisting in the wind, and you gently led me home. Well, just a love remembered new. This V on rolls for two. I love the way you move. I love the way you move.
Thank you. Well, we're going to do one last song. We'll take a break. Everybody get a cookie or a lemon bar? Or... Yeah, I grabbed one early because I knew those were good cookies. Whoever was responsible for those. Marie, thank you, wherever you are. Those are delicious, absolutely. Yeah, that got me going for the evening. So I thought I would sort of counteract my glass of red wine. I'm going to balance out. I read a business article recently that was giving it was the most unhelpful sort of piece of news for those of us who are investors, because they were looking 2 years in the past, and they said, well, if you had been really smart and you could see into the future, the time to have invested in the stock market was actually this day, and they actually gave you a day, and it was March 9th, 2009. March 9th, 2009. If we had all been smarter, we would have invested, and we would have made a lot of money in the stock market, apparently, over the past 2 years. I released my record on March 10th, 2009. And though it did, it's been fine. I'm okay. We're doing okay. It just goes to show that when creative impulse strikes, it just has absolutely nothing to do with economics. You just make records and you just hope for the best. You sort of cross your fingers and take a deep breath. But thankfully, on that record, there are a couple songs about maintaining, finding, keeping love, appreciating love in rough circumstances. And this is sort of the most down and out of them all. It's just called Love in the Hard Times.
him sleeping in her car. His own boots were sticking out over her yard. With a slap from her right hand, he nearly jumped out of his skin. And the car horn woke up half the block, they say. But Johnny heard her laughing as he screamed. But it was nicer than his whiskey-colored dream. Tried to pull his boots back in, but she was holding on to them. And Johnny caught the stick shift, or as they say, the sun don't shine. He's a king of the sandlot right in the small town rodeo. She's a queen of the laundromat doing the cowgirl do-si-do. No tales, just something finding love in the hard times. Well, Johnny knew her glances didn't lie. She was stealing looks over coffee in the double wide. He looked like what the cat dragged in and then coughed up again. But somehow she was smiling at the sight. As Jackie saw the blue behind his black eye and a young man's body old before its time. She knew what it was like to be falling down all your life. And he had hit rock bottom in her 83 Chevette. It's the king of the sandlot right in the small town rodeo. She's the queen of the laundromat doing the cowgirl do-si-do. No tales, just dimes. But it's something finding love in the hard times. Johnny brought his jeans to have them cleaned. 8 years of Texas dirt under the seams. But his body's healing good as he's been working under hoods and clowning at the rodeo for free. Jackie picks him up on the weekends in her 83 Chevette where it began. With a grocery store, Red Rose, Dairy Queen and the radio. A night on the Oasis, all their friends are in low places. He's the king of the sandlot right in the small town rodeo. She's the queen of the laundromat doing the cowgirl do-si-do. No tales, just dimes. There's something finding love in the hard times. No tales, just dimes. There's something finding love. Yeah, it's something finding love. Yeah, it's something finding love in the hard times.
James Smith, one more time. See you guys in a few minutes. Thanks.